Hello everybody, Double J101 back again with another video, and finally, War for Cybertron Siege. Optimus Prime has landed locally, so here we are, and let's take a look at the package before we get into the figure. We have Optimus Prime here in battle on the side of the package, which always looks as nice as you would expect it would. They usually do a pretty good job with these packaging. On the back of the package, we see Optimus Prime in his robot mode as well as his truck mode, and how he interacts with some of the Battle Masters. But really, that is about it for the package. So let's go ahead and move on to the figure. Here we have Optimus Prime in his truck mode, and before we get into him too much, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what all comes with him. Of course, we have the instructions, which were okay. They're not as good as the instructions that come with the Leader class, but they are helpful, and they will get you through the figure if you pay close enough attention. A little rough, but it does work. Also comes with his go-to rifle, which in black plastic as normal. Doesn't have a couple of the good details that you would expect it to have. Maybe it kind of does down here in the front here. There's normally this little bottom piece that hangs off, but it's not clearly away from the barrel. But overall, it's a pretty good looking gun. But he also includes this shield, which is actually really neat because it does turn into a pretty sweet looking axe. Just like so. We have silver paint here on this, as well as some black here Autobot logo. That looks like it is painted as well. The rest is just black plastic as well as gray plastic in the handle. This nicely stores, once you get it all set up and back into its shield mode, anywhere that you would like to peg it in on the vehicle. As such, back here, or on any of the other ports, you can peg it into the side, you can peg it into the bottom here, or on the top, however you like. Same as with the rifle, which I think just looks pretty okay right there. Taking a closer look at the cab, here we have him in his red, white, and blue, and silver paint throughout. Some plastic blue here. We have the gray vents on the back, as you would expect Optimus to look like. Silver paint here. We see some silver paint here on the tires, as well as some of that battle damage throughout the red plastic on this figure. Not as much in vehicle mode as you would hope. Not really seeing much at all here on the front of the cab. There's the silver with some black there as well. But no, there is no silver, there is no dirt here on the front where you would expect some dirt to be. There is some here close to the windshield, but you would think maybe on the bumper would have been nice. But otherwise, on the side of the cab, we see some where the arms will come from. But that's really about it for the detail of the cab. For some size comparisons to Optimus, let's go ahead and first bring in War for Cybertron Sideswipe, which these two look pretty good together. They do have their pretty good look of the Cybertronian look. Not the best Cybertronian look. They do both kind of look like how they would probably look on Earth, but I mean this one looks a little more Cybertronian, I guess you can say. But overall, they do look pretty good together. Next, we have a comparison with Power of the Prime's Optimus as well. You can just see how better the cab mode for the Siege figure is compared to the Power of the Prime's figure. It's no competition between these two. And for another comparison, here he is with Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode, and overall, I think these look pretty darn good together. About the right size. I mean, this by far is definitely scaling very well with a Voyager Optimus Prime, and you can see the difference in cab on both sides. So they definitely use a little bit of Prime here, but not a ton. And comparison with just the cab, which gives another decent look about the size between the two, which overall is almost exactly the same. Cab mode is clearly better in Optimus, but it is neat to see how close they are together. Now on for transformation for Prime. Let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to start into the front of the cab here. We're going to unlatch some of this bottom pieces, get these folded out of the way, and to the back of the cab. There are these small little panels here that you put your fingernail behind, get them unhinged. Same for this side as well. Get that undone. Next, we're going to undo these pieces, which in turn you will be moving the wheels down to get those out of the way. That will loosen up most of the cab, so once you get these two pieces here in the front folded out of the way, you can untab this piece and then bring it all the way up. This will make it loose enough to get his arms out of the way from the cab. Once you have these pieces open, you can go ahead and reveal his head. Might be stuck in there. Sometimes mine does. But overall, we'll get that part done. Moving on to the arms, you're going to swivel this piece all the way around. There is a bit of a peg right there that this piece will slot into, which does make it even on the bottom of the forearm. Fold this piece down. Again, there is a peg and a slot. Click that in. You're good to go. Same on this side. Swivel this around. Bring this piece down. Peg it in. And his arms are done. I like to bring them up a little bit out of the way. Here on the backpack, what you'll do is just fold this piece in. Get a nice click. Bring that down. Bring that down. Again, very audible clicks. Knows you're doing it right. Bring that down. And we'll leave it there for the time being. On to the middle part of the cab, we are going to take the wheels on this very neat folding technology here that you just fold up. Bring the tires into the chest, which sit very nicely and flat. Same on this side. Fold that in, bring it in, click it in, and there you go. Down to the legs and the waist, we're going to bring this, click it in right there. Separate the legs right about here. Take right where the knee is, rotate this around. When you do so, go ahead and unpeg these wheels, rotate them all the way around to the other side of the leg. Bring this piece down. This piece right here, you're going to fold in, and you will see a slot right there where this little peg will go into. And if you have it lined up correctly, it will slot in just like so. Same for this side. Rotate the leg around. Unpeg the wheels. Rotate them to the other side of the leg. Click them in. Take this piece. Rotate that around once again. Line it up with that slot. And slot it on in. For the feet, bring the feet on out. Front and back. Like so. And lastly, for the backpack that we created, we are going to take it. Rotate this around. And this will have two pegs right about there and there, which will slot in to right there and there on the backpack. Get that lined up. Slot it in. Straighten him out. And there you have Optimus Prime. Looking fantastic and in his robot mode. Bringing him in closer here, we'll take some good looks at this fantastic Optimus Prime, really. This is probably one of my favorite Optimus Prime I've ever owned. We see a better view of the silver vents here on the front of the legs, as well as the blue and some silver here in the toes. We see some more of the battle damage paint throughout the thighs and on the forearms. It's a lot more visible in this mode, as you can tell. Here on the shoulders, as well as on the front of the cab. It really comes out more in this one. Not really sure why they didn't have a little more. Maybe even down in this ab area. They would have had some down here. It would have looked pretty nice in the cab mode, but overall it looks okay. We have the normal Autobot logo here on the left shoulder, as well as a very nice head sculpt, which has the normal blue helmet with silver right there in the crest, and on his battle mask, as well as his baby blue eyes. Another nice little touch here is the yellow on the front of the cab here. For articulation with this figure, get a little closer here, we see good rotation here at the top of the thighs, as well as good motion going out, and good swivel, and some good movement here at the knee, in and out. Get good motion from there all the way back. Get a good bend even with the thigh thoroughly extended. Get the same on this side as well, all as you would expect, as well as some good ankle tilt, which gotta love the ankle tilt. Waist rotation, get a full spin, which is nice as well. Here at the arms, which as you can tell by just me moving them around, where the pipes are, they do move out of the way to get good length on the arm all the way out. Some bicep rotation here, as well as good bend to the elbow, all the way up, and all the way around. And that works for both sides. For the head, up and down, all the way around. If you go too far up, it does bring this little gap here, but that is up to you if you like that. And a little decent downward looking motion there. Of course, with him in this mode, you can bring in his pistol, or rifle, however you like to call it, and his axe. Get this all folded out once again. load him up, and he is looking pretty sharp. And even has a really good looking action pose. For comparison in robot mode, we'll bring in Siege Sideswipe to see how good they look together. And I think the scale looks fantastic here. I know scale is not what they're building around here in Siege and for the Chug line overall, but, you know, I do like how they look. Leader class Optimus from Power of the Primes, and you can tell there is a substantial size difference here. Of course, one is a leader class, two a Voyager, so it really depends on what you like. Both great figures. This is the one that's going on my shelf, and Orion Pax is definitely coming on my shelf as well. Another comparison here with the white cab of Ultra Magnus, and getting them a little closer here. I think they look pretty good together. Prime is a little taller, but those head sculpts are pretty on point about being the same. Again, really neat looking together. And with Ultra Magnus all armored up and ready to go in his normal Magnus mode. Again, I think the scale looks pretty good. He may be a little too short, but overall, they do look really good together. Lastly, to get Optimus back into his cab mode, so let's go ahead and get started on that. Go ahead and take the feet, fold them down. It's easy to get this little part out of the way quickly. Take the legs, rotate them around, bring this out, and just rotate this around, get it out of the way for the time being, which we will then come to later. For the wheels, unclick this and bring it around. Same with this side, if that stays up. Unclick that, rotate that around. And the legs are done for right now. Up to the top of the figure, get his arms up out of the way, unpack his backpack, bring his chest open like so, get his head nicely tucked away. This piece can then rotate for the time being. Bring out the wheels here. Sometimes they get slotted in there, and they sometimes get slotted in, sometimes kind of weirdly here, but you can get them out in this mode if you just wiggle it around a little bit. Get those out, take the legs, rotate this back. Makes it a little more free to move around down here. Get the wheels, bring them down and out of the way for the time being. Back to the top of the figure here, open this back up. Get this piece all the way spread out. These pieces are open, and unpeg that. Sometimes it's quite tight in there, but you just gotta get your finger in there and loosen it up. You're going to take this part and bring it down and get it nice and lined up in where it should go. Bring these pieces out, get the arms, rotate these to the back of the cab. Sometimes things get in the way a little bit as you go, but you just gotta fiddle with it. Take this piece of the arm, fold that up, bring it out. Same with this, we'll get to that side in a second. Fold this out, wiggle its way in as it should go, which will then line it up here to the front. This slot right there will peg in right there, just like so. Come to this side of the cab, take this piece, rotate this up, click it in, bring this in, snapping that together, and you are done besides massaging it here at the end. Over here to this side, do the exact same thing. Bring the arm, fold it in. Bring this piece, fold it around. Get it lined up nicely. Slot it in as it should go. Front of the cab, peg it in. Right about there. Take this piece right there, fold it up, click it in, click this in, and the top of the cab is ready to go. Oh, after, of course, folding those pieces in, bringing them in nicely. Take the wheels, rotate these up. There is a bit of a click. You don't want to overextend the wheels, though, because then it won't roll correctly. Go to the back of the legs, peg these in together. Rotate this back up, bring this forward. This will slot with a peg right into that slot. Slot it in. Same with this side. Slot that in, which will then peg into the legs as well. And there you have Optimus Prime. Looking good. And back in his cab mode. Overall, I really enjoy Siege Optimus Prime. He is a fun transformation, a fun figure, great articulation, and looks really good with the rest of the figures from the line so far. I highly recommend him if you can find him. Hopefully you can get one soon. They are hitting the local Walmarts, or at least around here in St. Louis, so good luck finding one. If you do have one already, let me know how you like him. I think, like I said, I think he's a fantastic figure, and I really hope you enjoy him too. If you own Power of the Prime's Optimus, is he a worthy upgrade? Yes and no. It depends on how big you want your Optimus, and it also depends on how much you want him to scale with the rest of your figures. I think he scales fantastic with everybody, but it's really up to you, and it's really your own opinion overall. But all in all, that's about it for this video. If you like this video, please like it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you if you have. We hopefully, by the time this comes out, will be at that 1,000 mark. And again, I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful for all the support I have received. You all are fantastic. Please stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to try to get on an actual schedule here soon, so just stay tuned, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.